Hey, I'm Nate Flax.
I'm Noah Longworth McGuire.
And this is Talking Lion.
Talking Lion is a podcast focused on artist-to-artist conversation.
We're primarily artists, a duo called Sleeping Lion, but we've been lucky enough to write, produce, and hang out with so many incredible rising artists since we started our project.
Whether it's at sessions or parties or over cups of coffee, we've talked with our creative friends about everything. Music, life, love, and all the subtle complexities that come with being in the middle of a journey.
Talking Lion is about hitting record on these conversations and sharing them with you. There's no real structure, nothing really prepared, just friends talking about life and what it's been like and where it's going.
We recorded this episode with our good friend Mothica.
We first met Mothica during a writing session in Brooklyn and quickly discovered we shared many mutual friends. Since then, we've hung out and written countless times, and we recently remixed her song Burnout off her EP Ashes.
Some context for this interview. Mothica was visiting Los Angeles for writing sessions and is currently working on a new record.
She's also moving to LA in the near future.
A great friend and a powerful vocalist, Mothica's music reflects her fiery energy and a sharp creative vision.
So,
without further ado,
I'm Mothica, and this is Talking Lion. Hey, how's it going?
Going well. Welcome back to LA.
Yes, I was here a month ago. And
Yeah.
I'm already back.
We're lucky we all get to hang as often as we do. Even
Yeah.
though we're bi-coastal people.
Bi-coastal.
But you're moving here soon?
I am planning to move here in June or July. I don't know where.
Is it because of the weather?
No, because I'm gonna have to get rid of all my jackets. And
Oh,
that's
true.
gonna suck.
True.
Yeah.
I mean, take it from me. I wear my jacket. You see it everywhere, so you can still. I mean, it'll be a sweaty experience, but you can still keep all the jackets. Totally.
Or I'm just waiting to become health goth, and then I'll just wear fitness gear all the time.
Or you just gonna
Dark
cabin up in
fitness gear.
Big Bear, and then just come down from the mountains every time you have a session or something.
Oh yes.
Yeah, because it's normal weather everywhere else, pretty much. It was weird, driving an hour up to Big Bear, and it's just snow.
Yeah.
So that doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
It's Truman Show-esque.
Yeah.
But you're from Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Originally.
I grew up in Oklahoma City, or I was born in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And I grew up in Oklahoma City for 18 years.
Wow. So in my head, it's always, and I tell you this all the time. In my head, it's always the musical. You walk out and there's a desert for as far as you can see, and there's 10-gallon hats everywhere. What was it really like living there?
It's really flat. There's a lot of Republicans, and it's pretty much all just strip malls. Yeah. It's I live in Oklahoma City, which there's still 1 million people there, so it's a big city. But no, I didn't ride horses or anything.
But did you have some pets?
I did have a lot of pets. I grew up with 6 dogs and various...
Wait, 6?
Yes, 6 dogs.
We're all there. Now I'm just curious. All at the same time?
It was... One would die off and we'd buy another one.
Do you remember their names? Do you remember their...
Yeah. Bailey, Beetle, Brandy, Bonnie, Bonkers, Baby, and then Voodoo.
I knew the last one.
Wait, so I have so many questions. The bee, or was it just...
Dude, we just went with bee names. Yeah.
Was it a beagle? Were they all
No,
beagles?
they were Shelties and then
Shelties.
Pomeranians. Fluffy, very fluffy. Dog hair everywhere.
Were dogs the only pets that you...
No, I had, I had 5 different snakes. I had,
Did they all have
chinchilla.
alliteration names too? All the
No,
snakes?
I don't remember
Sammy.
some of them. The craziest animal I had was I went to Costa Rica when I was 10 with my parents, and we saw this animal in the wild called a coatimundi. And
Can you describe what that looks like?
yeah, so it's kind of related to a raccoon. It looks kind of like a raccoon / dog thing. No, it has a snout and it's brown with you'd have to look up a photo of it. But I looked in the paper in the exotic pet section every day and eventually found someone that had a coatimundi. And we drove to go pick it up, and then we my parents built an enclosure in our backyard.
Whoa.
And we raised this exotic animal, and then it became kind of feral. And it went through puberty and would attack you, so we donated it to the zoo.
So 6 dogs, all with the letter B except for Voodoo. 5 snakes.
Yeah.
Did you say a chinchilla?
Chinchilla, I had ducks, I had a flying
Ooh.
squirrel.
A flying squirrel and a quadamandi.
Yes, Quadamundi. Yeah, and its name was Coco Lily Cinderellas. Yeah.
Wow.
Wait, the quadamandi name was Coco Lily Cinderellas?
Yes. Yeah.
Who named it?
I did.
All right.
I was 10.
Just give us a little bit of insight into the rationale there.
Coco because Quadamundi, real creative. Lily, I don't know. It's a girl. And Cinder Ellis, like Cinderella.
Yeah, but it's also got
Cinder.
like that fiery.
Oh, Cinder.
Yeah, maybe you always had the fire, like.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
always had the fire.
Yeah, and then Cinderellas. I didn't even pick up on that like
Cinderellas.
last name.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I had some snakes, I had lizards and fish and rats and literally every animal that you're allowed to have, I had it.
so were they your like orchestra as a kid? Was that when you first got into music? Because all the dogs would bark in one key and all the snakes would hiss in another key. And
No, I didn't really write songs. I think actually my first song that I remember writing was about a blue fairy.
what was it called?
It was called Blue Fairy.
It's good. I have to say, not as clever as your Quadamali name, but
Yeah.
Quadamundi. Mundi?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna get it.
Yeah.
I'm just like quiz me every like 5 minutes just to see if I
Quadamundi.
Quadamundi. That's awesome. So, did you first start playing an instrument, or were you just sort of singing around the house?
I was in a elementary school choir that you kind of had to audition to get in, but so I didn't make it the first year, but it was all kind of Motown songs. We would do like the Temptations and stuff, a mashup of like Beatles songs. So that like exposed me to a lot of really great songs. And I had a solo. I would stop. No, mine was Walk On By.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Were either your parents musical as well?
Not at all. No. Yeah. My dad is a petroleum engineer.
Whoa, wait,
For
is that
natural gas
Okay.
company. Has been there for like 30 years or something. And my mom worked in global relocation, and now she owns a vintage store and sells clothes.
in my head? Global relocation is like you have aliens from Mars that need
God.
to like relocate to a different globular planet.
Yes.
What is a global relocator?
I never knew what it was, but it was like she worked for a company that they would hire her to move employees from one location to another, like giant
wow.
companies. And then she was like the HR person or client relations person. So she would just make sure that they were happy.
That's like a very big job. That's a very like
Yeah.
because there's people.
Would it be like people moving different countries?
Yeah, moving to different countries, and then they would hire her company to handle all of the like shipping of their house of goods, everything they own. And
Would you travel internationally as like part of that? Like or would she be traveling a lot?
no, she worked from home, so I just remember her always being on conference calls. But she traveled a little bit, and I traveled a lot with my parents when I was under the age of 1. I think I went to like 25 states and like 3 countries. And they were always like, "Yeah, you've been there," and I'm like, "Yeah, I don't remember that."
Doesn't count.
It was your first tour.
Yeah, my first tour.
No, that's awesome. My dad also worked from home, which was always very bizarre because there'd be like work dad and like home dad, but I wouldn't necessarily know whose was who. Like, because we had the office, but there was also the living room, and there was also where he would work. So I definitely, that's a very specific experience, I think, for like especially people at like our generation who could have parents who could work from home.
Yeah,
because you couldn't really necessarily do that until like the last 2 decades or. Whatever. I could be also talking out my ass. I don't know about the current work economy of home workers and everything.
freelancers as they call it.
Did you take lessons, and did you have any siblings?
No, so I'm an only child.
Oh, you guys have that in common.
Yeah, yeah, and my parents are also older. Like my mom had me when she was 39, so only child, and yeah, I sang in the choir, and then but music was definitely never like a main hobby of mine. I was more into like visual art and drawing and stuff like that.
Did you want a sibling when you were a kid? Was that
yes. I wanted an older brother that would have cute friends.
Did you have other friends who had older brothers with cute friends? Was
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why not just use their older brothers?
Well, yeah, that didn't work out. But I think because I saw Bring It On. And yeah, her friend's brother, that she like brushes her teeth with him in the bathroom.
I had a younger brother, so I was the older brother, and I didn't feel like capable of being like a good older brother.
Oh.
Like I felt like there was like a lot of pressure. It was like a younger brother can do whatever, and that doesn't have to like be a thing for somebody.
Yeah.
But yeah, siblings are weird, which is why it's bizarre. Like most of my friends are people who don't have siblings.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's something about if you grow up as an only child, or maybe only child syndrome, like maybe you become more artistic because you're.
Well, so how did you first get into visual art? Like, what was the thing that sort of inspired you to do that?
I don't know. I know, like, in elementary school, I was really kind of rambunctious, and my parents put me in every single hobby you could try. Like, they tried to get me to do baseball and ballet, and I, like, got kicked out of cotillion because I wore jeans under my dress like Avril Lavigne.
Nice. Chess club? Were you in chess club?
No. I
Right.
was in German club.
German club?
Yeah.
Do you have any German to throw around?
1, 2, 4, 5,
Are you
6.
cursing on the show?
Wait,
Are you cursing
I was
on
counting,
the...
but I think I
I think you just
messed
went
up.
1, 2, 4.
Yeah. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oop.
I can say your mother, Dinah Mutter.
Coco Mundi?
Kawada Mundi.
On a Monday.
Kawada Mundi. See,
Yeah.
I've already lost it.
Yeah.
I'm very bad with other languages. Noah has Italian locked.
I have Italian.
and-
It's not a particularly useful language, but it is
gnocchi.
gnocchi, yeah.
Gnocchi.
Wait.
Or as we like to, gnocchi is how I try to piss off my Italian friends.
Gnocchi.
Gnocchi with mozzarella
And bruschetta.
and bruschetta. Were you like your dreams growing up being like a painter or an artist? In that sense?
No, I wanted to be a dolphin trainer.
Whoa!
Like everyone wanted to be. And then
Don't give up on your dreams. I mean, that's still
Yeah.
well, then I decided I wanted to have my own animal TV show, like Jeff Corwin. But I really just wanted to be friends with animals. Like I didn't want to like explore the scientific like.
So you wanted less Steve Irwin and more Dr. Dolittle?
Yes.
Okay.
I wanted to control animals with my mind. No,
I'm pretty sure Dr. Dolittle just
he just talks to them. Yeah. Okay.
I love that he like talks a tiger out of killing itself by telling him that "Eye of the Tiger" is like a big song.
Wow.
That's a real scene in
That-
Dr. Dolittle.
I have no concrete memories of that movie, so that's
I
wonderful
need
to
to
hear.
watch that again. But
Yeah, it's a wild movie. I don't know.
I thought I was gonna work with animals, and I think that says a lot about me that I like instead of having friends, I just bought my friends in the form of like a tarantula,
What was your tarantula's name?
Rosetta.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, I was really into animals, and then I wanted to own a like vintage store or something, like because we went to thrift stores and estate sales all the time. Like my mom's everything we have is like from an estate sale. And then I wanted to go into neuroscience, but I wanted to be on the cover of a science magazine. So that says a lot about
Yeah.
my
You're
intentions.
in science for the glory, the
Yeah,
glitz and the glam of the
exactly.
research world.
Yeah.
Well, so, and this is kind of a silly question, but like, did you love moths as a kid?
I know I like caught butterflies a lot, but moths didn't enter my life until I was like 14 or 15. Yeah.
Now, in my head, that's like a Batman story. Like, were you trapped in the bottom of a well with a bunch of moths? And you're like, this is who I
No,
am.
it has to do with robo tripping.
What's that?
That is drinking cough syrup and not falling asleep.
Oh, Robitussin.
Yes,
Gotcha.
Robitussin.
Gotcha.
And that's what, us youth would do in our backyards.
All you
'cause-
kids.
Yeah. Yeah. Like my parents let me set up a tent in my backyard and we would, drink cough syrup. And I have this memory of.
Just the way that Noah subtly tried to eat that chip was amazing.
I was trying to be real discreet about it. Trying to stay away from the mic. Don't mind me.
Anyway, I have this.
So you had the tent in the backyard.
Yeah, so I had a tent in my backyard, and I remember seeing all these moths like swarming around this lamppost, and in my head I thought like I was a moth in a past life.
Whoa.
Because
you were robo-tripping.
Well, yes, it was like 5 a.m, and I thought it was a metaphor for like, oh, they're ramming themselves into the light and they don't know that they're killing themselves, and I was really depressed and like, having suicidal thoughts. So my friend at the time, Caitlin, like she wanted to go to school for mortuary science, and so she called herself Gothica, and then she called me Mothica. And then I started using that like on Instagram and stuff when I was like 14 or 15, way before music.
Is she doing mortuary stuff now? Does she
No,
work at, like, a morgue?
she did go to college for it, but she dropped out and now she's a bartender.
I'd be worried to have those drinks. Like, it's like embalming fluid. It's like,
Yeah.
this will fuck you up. Like,
yeah.
So did you wind up going to school for visual art?
Yeah.
Where did you go?
Well, I mentioned I thought I wanted to go into science or architecture.
Science for the glam, though.
Yeah, science. I wanted glamorous science.
Pop sci.
Yes, I wanted to like do a TED Talk.
Well, I want to be a doctor because of Dr. House. Like, I thought being a doctor was like I could walk through hallways.
Yes.
Like, I think it's this. Well, it's not that. Well, I think it's that. And I'm going to go bounce a ball in a room somewhere for 3 hours thinking about my diagnosis. Like, that's not what being a doctor is.
Well, that was another thing is I was like, I'm not smart enough to make a dent in science, so I shouldn't go into that. But I was like, I felt like I was naturally pretty good at visual art and like drawing, and so I was like, oh, I'm gonna go to school for this, and I applied to Pratt Institute in Brooklyn, New York. And I ended up going into the program that was like interactive media, so you could do like coding and stuff. Also, I messed with like Arduinos and built like LED lights that responded to music. And
That's awesome.
Yeah. And then like the only music I had done was acoustic covers on YouTube, and I had original songs on YouTube with like no one had seen any of them. And then
What kind of covers were you doing?
let me think. I did a cover of a Licky Lee song. I did what's that song? I did an LMFAO song. I did a Soulja Boy cover. Elliott Smith, Bright Eyes, and
Elliott Smith lived like 2 blocks down that way.
that's amazing.
Yeah, he's really good. What
His
song was it? Angeles?
Between the Bars.
Oh, right. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
like my favorite song.
It's a great song.
Yeah, I used to like cry to that. So I did that, and then I moved to New York.
Had you always wanted to live in New York?
Yes. Yeah, I had been here when I was like 16. But I was like, I want to go to a major city because Oklahoma, like now it's pretty cool and they have a lot of artistic scene going on. But like growing up, like we just got a Trader Joe's and we just got an H&M. There's still no like Urban Outfitters or anything like that. To me was cool to travel to go to Urban Outfitters. Okay, like
The Trader Joe's is a big deal.
Trader Joe's.
Did they have a giant scissors to cut the ribbon of the Trader Joe's?
I don't know. Yeah, so I knew I wanted to get out, and I went to New York, and then I met someone at this party that showed me SoundCloud.
Oh.
Yes, and then I discovered you could make music on a computer. And that's when I like downloaded Ableton and went and got a microphone, and I would like just message producers and be like, "Can I sing on your beat?"
Did you play piano or did you play any instruments at the time?
Yeah, so my parents had a piano in their house that they got from a garage sale, and I could play like pretty basic. I can play pretty basic chords on anything, or on guitar and piano, but. Yeah, that's how I would write. And then when I got Ableton, I just started messing with all the silent synth sounds.
And what was it about hearing about SoundCloud and Ableton that made you, to a degree, just drop dreams of being in popular science and doing visual art and instead doing music to the degree that you have?
Yeah, well, I was in school for visual art, and I was in all these classes, and to me, going to school for visual art kind of ruined my love for it because all my professors wanted me to have all this crazy backstory and for all my decisions I was making. And for me, I was like, I just like doing it. You know,
You could have cut off your ear.
yeah, I was like really sassy. And so music became my escape from doing art. And that's why it was like super fun and exciting because I was learning a new program. And I was like, you know, that was when SoundCloud was really good. And like there was such a community around it that there isn't as much anymore. And
I imagine, especially in New York, where you could meet those people and see their shows and stuff as they're on the come up.
Yeah, and that was awesome. I got to go to like a recording studio for the first time, and I had never sang in front of anyone in person. Like, so it was.
How old were you at that point?
Yeah, so that was when I was like 18,
Okay.
19. So that was like 5 years ago.
And when did you put out your first single? As Mothica.
Oh yeah, as Mothica. I mean, on Spotify, 2014. So it was like a year into me living in New York.
Was that Mythic?
It was a song before that. It was called Molt.
Molt.
Yeah, I don't know if you've heard that.
Like a
Like a moth. Hold me while I molt. Yes, that's the lyric. Yeah.
So that's a good pickup line.
Hold me while I molt. Yeah. Yeah. I was vaguely moth related. And that was produced by a producer, Bareface, that is now in Brockhampton.
Oh.
Yes.
Cool. I think I read somewhere too that you worked with Tennyson at one point too.
Yeah. Well, so we have a song together that is a remix of a Daughter song.
Oh wow, which song?
Smother Me. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and it got taken down because, well, they remixed her song, and so they just had me sing the vocal part and then pitch it up because I already wanted to sound like Daughter, so it was like a perfect match. Yeah, and then I got to play like my third show ever. I like opened up for Tennyson.
That's awesome.
It was great.
Whereabouts in New York?
Yeah, it was at a venue called Palisades that doesn't exist anymore.
I was about to say I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, it must have been like right in the pocket of when I was old enough to go to, but I was in Boston and stuff.
Yeah.
But you were pretty much off to the races when you're Ableton, you got your stuff. When like what was the sort of process of like coming into yourself as an artist? Like what?
Yeah, well, I would sing over a lot of different instrumentals I would find on SoundCloud. Like I think I had like 20 or 30 songs of me just because it was so easy to write over an existing beat or instrumental. And then when I got Ableton, I started producing myself, and I made this EP called Mythic, which the title of that came from when I would type it in on email, it would autocorrect Mothica to Mythic. So I was like, oh, that's a good name.
It's got like a subtlety to like the duality of autocorrect.
Yeah. Autocorrect named my EP. And I put that self-produced EP out, and one of the songs showed up on the Spotify like top viral charts.
Whoa.
I have no idea how or why. I think maybe a YouTube channel like reposted it or something.
Was there like hype M buzz around it?
Not for a long time. Like that didn't happen for like 6 months or something. So it just randomly did really well, and then because of that, like a lot of labels were hitting me up, like Island Records and Atlantic, and yeah. And so immediately when I got my first email from a record label, I was like, I'm dropping out. Because I honestly thought that meant I had a record deal like waiting for me. Like I was like, oh, I got an email, like I'm good. Like, let's go.
Did you sign with any of them from the get-go?
They didn't even offer me. No, I have.
Well, yeah, that's like, we got the emails. We used to consider those to be like offers. Like,
Yeah.
Like you're offering to have the conversation. That's an offer of sorts.
Yes, I did actually get one offer, which I'm glad I didn't take now, but I just talked to a lot of them, and a lot of them wanted to develop me and fly me out to LA. And like, I had, really never sang in front of anyone. And so it was really overwhelming and exciting, but I stayed independent.
I think the first, like one of the first ones we ever were offered was from like it was just more or less starting up, and I remember like going to like the Mandarin Oriental in like by Central Park, like being like very aware of how I was trying to be intimidated by the view and by the drinks and all that stuff. But the only person who was on the label at the time, I think, was a member, one of like the older members of Wu-Tang. And
Wow.
so like Noah and I would be
We were
like
trying to decide whether or not to take this label.
We're like, what do we do if we ever went to a
what
party?
What would we do with
like,
at a label party? Like, what do we say to one of the members of Wu-Tang Clan?
like, oh, I love Wu-Tang. Like, like we grew up way after that. Whatever.
Yeah.
But that, I mean, neither here nor there. So it's funny. I think I first heard you when you were doing the stuff with Pusher. How did that collaboration start? Because was that a whole record?
Yeah, no, it was one song, and I met him at South by Southwest probably 4 years ago or something. And then he sent me a bunch of instrumentals, and that song I wrote in Oklahoma when I was visiting my parents, the song Clear. And yeah, the lyrics are like, words fall out of my mouth, they drift to the ground, and they don't make a sound.
Ooh.
And I was staring at the ground, and that was like how I wrote that song.
It was a very quiet ground.
Yeah, I was like, oh, words fall out of my mouth. Okay. And that song, yeah, was like my top streaming song. I got to play that song with him to like 4,000 people. It was, yeah.
Where was that?
That was in San Francisco. Yeah.
Because at a certain point around that time, you wound up being our related artist. Which is how I was like, I would go through that like. Because I always wanted to hit up everybody. I want to be like, oh, we're related. Like we're cousins. Like let's all make music together. I don't know if I ever hit you up. I think at a certain point I started getting a little bit more like self-conscious and like nervous about reaching out to people. But I remembered seeing you up there, and
it changes a lot.
It does change a lot
because I used to be related to like Verite, I think. No, I think Elohim might be one of my top ones, which is awesome because I think she's so
she's
good.
incredible. I think. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think Transviolet is also related to you guys.
Yeah.
Then it's like, oh, now we're all really cousins and stuff. But but I remember the second song that really like hit me that I heard was when you put out "Water Me Down." I think I was like walking around Boston when it came out. What's that song mean to you, and what's that song about? Because there's a lot in it. It's a very powerful song. Just when you sing it live, like it's incredible to see live.
Yeah, it's so much fun to play live. I always end the set with that song, and I wrote the lyrics for that song for a different beat with a producer, and then it was one of those things where I'll like recycle old ideas continuously until it finds the home. And it was like kind of a metaphor about like me, a watered down alcoholic drink, like you can't water me down. I'm too strong, I'm too intense. And I made that with the producer, Nige, aka Nigel.
I know Nige, yeah. Cool.
Yeah,
Shout out
just
to
me
Nige.
and him. And we were at a studio in New York, and he actually did a lot of the melodies. Like this was before he was singing on his own songs. It was about, you can't have all of this if you want to water me down.
And that's like what I like is like this sort of the paradox of how often people want like a version of somebody.
Yes.
But also want like the most authentic thing and it's like those are not the same thing. Like there's the best version of somebody, which is like a watered down polished thing, and there's the authentic, but you can't necessarily have both. I think what's cool about what music that's coming out now, and we were talking about like Billie Eilish's record before, is that I feel like now music is moving more towards that authentic place. And and I think definitely people are gravitating more towards like your personality and your story and your branding and stuff. But yeah, that song was like, so much about how people would start a relationship with me because they liked how intense I was, but then it got to be too much, or like I always felt like I had to play some game where I like wouldn't text you back for a while and then I play it cool, and just like, oh, that's so exhausting. Not being yourself is exhausting. Well, and what I think is really cool too is the song has that personal and like professional, where it works both ways, in the same way that like Love Song by like Sarah Bareilles has like the I'm not gonna write you a love song to like a person, but also to like the record label that wanted a love song. So it's a really awesome, on a really awesome record. Like Ashes just recently came out. We biasly really like Burnout because we did the remix. But you said that your favorite lyric of your songs is from Burnout.
Yeah, I know. It's hard to come up with what my favorite lyrics are because I think I like overall concepts more than like specific lyrics. But when I wrote Burnout, which the chorus is, I don't want to burn out, so I keep playing with fire. I don't want to burn out, so I keep playing with fire. That was one of those lines that just came out of me. And I was like, oh my God, that makes so much sense. And I was actually writing it with a producer who is straight edge. And I was writing the song about how I was trying to not drink anymore. And kind of like, it was like a therapy session of just like, why do I keep doing this to myself? Why do I say I'm never going to drink again? And then 2 days later, I'm doing the same shit. And it was like, oh, I'm so afraid that I'm going to be boring or that if I become sober, that I'm going to be uninteresting, like musically. And so I keep, putting myself in situations where I have something to write about.
Well, I think there's been this almost like toxic idea of like and I've talked about this before, but like that this artistic genius needs to be tortured. Yeah. We hear stories about these tortured geniuses being assholes to people and like ruining lives and then like killing themselves or being, terrible in their personal lives. And I'm thinking like we could make good stuff still without like hurting ourselves necessarily or being miserable or drunk all the time. You know?
And I read a book which was talking kind of about this that I think it was Big Magic. It's amazing. But it was like, these tortured geniuses that you're thinking of are talented in spite of their addiction, not because of their addiction.
Yeah.
And I think like even me growing up, like I wanted to be that tortured, live fast, die young, like type Kurt Cobain, like that's so glorified. And I thought it was cool.
Well, and I just finished a heartbreaking work of Staggering Genius by Dave Eggers, which the whole crux of it is that like he's writing it because both of his parents like died within 30 days of each other from cancer. And so, but a lot of what the book deals with is how he feels like he was to a degree like chosen to like, to have this tragic life or whatever. And similarly, in a weird, messed up way, when tragic things would happen in my life, I would be not happy about it, but at least like vindicated, like, oh, now I'm tortured. Now I have something to write about.
Oh my gosh.
And that's so fucked up because like you can't engage in like a happy, healthy life if you also want like misery to follow you for the sake of your art.
Yeah. And I think another big thing I think about is how I think a lot of people wouldn't be as successful as they are if they weren't motivated by something less than pure. Like for me, anger, like I think I have this in my head of like, I'm gonna prove people wrong. If anyone wrongs me, I'm like, I'm gonna show you, and that will lights a fire under your butt. You
can say ass on the show. Fire under your tuchus,
Yeah, I was gonna say your tushy. But I'm so often like inspired by anger and bitterness, which is something I'm trying to deal with of like, why can't I just make a song? Because I like love doing music. Well,
I think what always sort of lit the fire under my tuchus was this kind of sadness. Was that like I despite coming from from privilege, had a lot of like tragedy pretty quickly. So how do I justify all this bad things happening? Oh, making good things happen. Using this as like fuel to transform the bad into like something good.
Yeah.
But that doesn't for me feel like sustainable. Like that for me feels like fossil fuel. And like I don't know, now I'm trying to absorb sunlight and air and water. Literally drinking more water. It's trying to solar powered art or whatever.
Yeah.
But what drives you? No,
I think now I don't know. I think if anything, the less than pure thing that drives me is like fear. Just like fear of like, I don't know, failure or like not doing enough or just stuff like that. But I think recently I've been trying to just get fueled by excitement, and potential.
Yeah.
Well, because I guess there is always the opposite. I mean, if the impure thing is, to use the metaphor of fossil fuel, then the converse is the thing that's like sustainable and renewable. Because at a certain point, like hopefully I won't be sad and you won't be scared and you won't be angry.
Yeah.
So what do we have? You know.
Well, I'm lucky, not lucky, but that right now all the songs I'm writing are about, you know, sobriety, and that is just a ocean of influence and feelings. And so it's less like difficult to be able to write about that because it's just like so, you know, real right
Well, and
now.
it's a continuous process too.
Yeah.
It's you just played the show with Miette and with Evangelia,
Yes.
and you were saying that was one of the first shows you played sober. What was that like for you?
Oh my gosh. So yeah, like I have played quote quote sober before, which was in Detroit when I threw up before going on stage because I was so hungover. And I had a trash can on stage to throw up in. And so that was sober. And then I played another show sober, but I immediately drank whiskey afterwards because I was like, that didn't go well. And so, yeah, I played the show with Evangelia and Miette, and they're amazing. And their music was so good that night. And it went like the best possible way it could have gone. It was like my favorite show I've played. And like I hit a lot of notes that I normally don't go for live. And yeah, everyone told me, like, they're like, wow, you sounded really good. I was like, oh, wow, I'm not as pitchy when I'm not like, you know, 4 whiskeys in.
You're not watered down
Yes. Yes. And now I'm like, please water me down.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Literally.
But it's funny because I used to, you know, make drinking a part of my show. And, you know, I would sell shot glasses. I only made like 50, I think. So those are limited edition if you have one.
Look out on eBay.
Yeah, yeah. And I would take a shot with everyone in the crowd and be like, oh, I guess I'm feeling self-destructive. Yeah, and then play my song Self-Destructive. And now I'm like, oh, I probably shouldn't do that because I actually have an issue like with drinking. And I was like making it a party trick, but...
Well, that's also such an artist thing to do, is like take the thing that, you know, you're most insecure about, make it a part of your brand.
Yes.
Yeah.
So nobody can use it against you. But that, on the one, that's kind of like irony. You know, it's kind of like
Yeah.
using this sort of like force field against actually interacting with a problem.
Yeah, yeah, and I think comedians do that a lot. They'll like make fun of the way they look so other people don't
Right.
feel like they can do that. And I think I do that too in my music and like on stage. I'll even like joke about like I'll wear these crazy outfits that I feel awesome in, but I just also kind of feel ridiculous. Like if I were in the street and I was wearing like a spiky headpiece, you know?
Well, I could see you in the street wearing a spiky
Yeah.
headpiece. Yeah, let's be real. You're wearing a rattleskin.
Yeah, rattlesnake
snakeskin.
yeah, shirt right now.
And a jersey.
Yeah, it says St. Joe.
Oh.
I don't know what that is.
But that's the thing. Is like if your brand is being sad, then that doesn't give you the opportunity to like actually address the thing that is hurting you. You know.
Yeah, and I think I'm kind of bothered when people use sadness as their brands. Like I used to describe my music as gloom pop. But because I want to talk about the real issues, but like I feel like there should be talk about like solutions too, and not just like wallowing in it. And so I kind of like didn't want to talk about like depression and suicide and that until recently, when I feel like I actually have my life together. And if someone were to talk to me about it, I'm not being hypocritical and still in that like cycle of abuse.
Well, I think that's like a very sort of exciting transition. You know, it's like now here's this whole new space to write about and a whole new core of like artistry. And I think it shows in Ashes, and I get to hear the demos early, so I get, you know, it shows in the new stuff that you're working on too. So that's
yeah. Well, Ashes was like I mean, that EP for me, I hate mostly because of just like where my head was at the time, where I felt like I have to put something out right now. You know, people are gonna forget about me, and I rushed to get it out. And also like it was like the general concept of Ashes was just fire as a whole, and so I related it to real stuff in my life. But like I do think the new songs I'm writing are a little more grounded in like authentic themes that isn't just.
I heard a lot of. I mean, I heard a lot about Bianca's house. I was like losing my. We were all losing our mind. I think nobody was losing their mind more than Bianca.
Yes,
because that's what she does so well. Is just get hype about new music.
Yes,
but yeah, it is really really good. And you're working with like just the best people on both coasts, like both coasts. I couldn't pronounce coasts right there. I don't know what happened. Coco Mandala.
Quadamundi.
Are you ready for MySpace questions?
Oh, I am so ready because I had a MySpace, and my name was Mick Zombie.
Mick Zombie.
Yes,
that's good.
I see that. I could see that.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because when we first started this, we were like, oh, we should like. We first started and told you that we were doing this, and we are like, oh yeah, we're thinking about like trying to find like random questions, like rapid fire questions, and you immediately texted me back MySpace and sent me just a whole bunch of MySpace links.
Yeah, because they were
For those who have stuck around, you'll know that this whole thing was inspired by young Mothica.
Yeah.
So this is a throwback Thursday survey, like from the MySpace days.
Yes.
Oh, man.
But I'm gonna start with a question we found somewhere that I've been tabling because it's a very important question. Would you be a pirate?
Yes.
Hey, I told you.
You're our first pirate.
You're our first pirate.
Who said they wouldn't be a pirate?
Everybody said they wouldn't be a pirate. Everybody was so practical. They're like, oh, Noah's fucking telling me that we're gonna get scurvy.
I actually really want to go buy a pirate outfit right now.
Yeah, I want a crew. I want to sail the seven seas. Like,
I want that booty.
yeah, the treasure or no? Yeah, live your life. I want a peg leg.
Yes,
Yeah.
I want a parrot.
I want a hook.
Yes.
And
I want a mermaid
I want a sword
on
fight
a ship.
with a ship. You want a mermaid?
Yeah. Like
Mermaids are scary.
a siren.
A siren. I want to fight I want cannons. I want
Cannons
to fight
are
with
cool.
cannons. Yeah.
Walk the plank.
Walk the plank.
I want to make someone walk the plank.
I want to like bury my treasure on an island and then make like a really intense like treasure puzzle
I
to
do
find
not
it.
want to handle navigation though.
Well, get a nav person. Get a SME.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A North Star.
Yeah. They'll be the moth crew. Make everybody wear wings and
Yeah, I don't think there's any moths in the ocean.
maybe you'll be the first. You'll be the only.
But maybe on like a small island, there's like some weird moth species.
Well, you know how there's like the Flying Dutchman? You could have the Flying Moth.
Yes.
Yeah. Mine would be called Sailing Lion. Naturally.
It's a good one.
But Noah doesn't want to join my crew because Noah doesn't want to be a pirate.
I just don't want to get scurvy, and I don't want to deal with skirting around the law.
Yeah.
But the law is bad at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that is a good
You
point.
can get away with anything.
Yeah. And they were
Would
hanging
it be
people.
an all-female pirate ship? That could be
That'd be, yeah.
interesting.
No, that thing that you would be feared throughout the world. Like that's, yeah.
I think I need to be a pirate for Halloween now.
Do it.
Yeah, I'm going to do it. Because then I can just wear all those clothes normally.
Last year we were Miguel and Tulio from El Dorado.
How's it going?
Which they weren't pirates, but they were like
Treasure hunters.
treasure hunters. Which that's a cool thing.
I'd be a
too.
treasure
Yeah.
hunter.
Yeah. Sherlock Holmes. That's not related, but I'm just thinking.
He's
of
cool,
Halloween
yeah.
costumes.
I mean, I went as Tommy Wiseau this year just because I let my hair
wow.
down and wore my coat.
Yeah.
All right, let's go through these. You ready for it?
Yeah.
Last beverage you've had.
An iced black tea and a ginger beer.
Last phone call.
My last phone call was to my friend Julia that I met at an AA meeting. Yeah.
What's your favorite color?
Iridescence.
Wait, what is that?
You know, reflective iridescence, like a butterfly. It's like a bunch of different colors.
It is. Yeah, it is a specific enough thing. Like I think that's a good
feel like
answer.
that, like,
Holographic.
that's only a color by technicality. Like I feel.
Okay.
it's not
if
so much a color as
then-
an experience.
I mean, I always get clothes in black, but if it's not black, I'll say like teal.
I like teal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you met someone who has changed you in the past month? This is
Yeah, everyone.
Well, that's nice. How many kids do you want?
I want a dog and a cat. I want a cat named Motorcycle. And I want a kid named Harley Davidson.
Harley Davidson Ellis?
No, I don't think I want a child.
Well, the next question was, do you want any pets? I think you satisfied the
Yes.
cat named Motorcycle. If you had to change your name, what would you change it to? Not your artist name, like your real name.
I would just go by Kenzo.
Kenzo.
That's what my mom calls me, and like a couple friends from back home.
Mothica.
Yeah.
I heard. Did your mom sells vintage stuff too?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, my mom has like a warehouse of vintage furniture and clothes. Just years of going to garage sales and estate sales. Yeah.
That's such an awesome like niche thing to do as well.
Yes.
Like,
yeah, and it's so great because anything you could possibly want, like she probably has it. Like, I want a vintage shirt that has a Marlboro cigarette on it. I don't know.
Zodiac sign.
I am a Pisces.
Whoa, my dad's a Pisces.
Yep.
Name of your first best friend.
My first best friend was named Madison, or Maddie Poo Poo Melonhead, as I called her.
Wholesome.
Now here's the do you believe in section. Do you believe in miracles?
Oh.
Santa Claus.
No.
You had to think about it though.
Do you believe in yourself?
I do. I do now.
If you could go back in time, how far back would you go?
I would want to go to like ancient times. Egypt. Yeah.
It says, how do you want to die?
Oh, wow. Definitely not in an airplane, but also maybe in an airplane.
And what would you want to play at your funeral?
Oh, I have a whole funeral playlist.
Of course you do. Yeah, that's awesome.
It's called Play This at My Funeral. Let's see what's on it. The Between the Bars by Elliott Smith is on.
I mean, naturally, yeah.
Oof.
Let's see what else we got on here. Oh, Dancing in the Moonlight by King Harvest.
Oh, that's good.
It's a song I really like. I have She's Got Away by Billy Joel. I don't know.
Okay.
That's the first song I like cried to when I was in middle school, and I was
Wow.
like, this song made me cry. Yeah, I have some weird stuff on here.
I play an excessive amount of mute math at my funeral. I don't know why, but for some reason that would really get me like in the mood to be lying there dead.
Yeah, I definitely want a pipe organ and just
Play all your songs on pipe.
play all my
organ,
songs and on a pipe organ.
On pipe organ.
Yeah.
Just like arrangements of
Real spooky.
Yes. I worry that my funeral just turned into like a networking event, though. You know, it's like all.
Oh, woof.
So like, oh hey, yeah, you write with this person, right?
I need to take a 10-minute break.
That's some dark music industry talk for the folks at home.
Wow.
That's not something I've ever considered, but no, I don't think I'll be able to get that out of my head.
Yeah, you're like, oh, you going to Mothica's funeral? Oh my god, yeah.
I can already see it.
I quit. That's probably like the single most mind-blowing thing that's been said on the show so far. I can skip this next question, which is, do you have an attitude?
Yes, definitely.
This is stupid. Ever eaten food in a car while somebody was driving? What?
Yes, for sure.
Do you type fast?
I type very fast. Yeah.
Do you spell well?
I purposely spell every word wrong. Well, no, okay. I spell U. I just use the letter U, and I type in all under lowercase.
That explains your new EP, Asses.
Yes.
Have you ever been on a horse?
Oh my God. Yes, and I'm very allergic to them, which I discovered because I rode a horse bareback in the Costa Rican jungle. So.
What's your favorite kind of chocolate?
Dark chocolate. Maybe
That's
a little sea
goth.
salt. Yeah. Black, dark chocolate like my soul.
Like these are. Have you ever walked outside in your PJs? Like, don't even answer that.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
Please don't ask me that.
Life is long. Like,
These are questions for 15-year-olds.
do you believe everything happens for a reason?
I like to believe that. I also like to believe that when I have deja vu, that it means that I'm supposed to be there.
I think that was from Final Destination.
What?
That line is from Final Destination.
No, it's from my brain.
We're gonna put some money down and say that's a quote
really?
from Final Destination.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Which is kind of morbid when you think about it now for Final Destination.
Yeah.
Do you like Chinese food?
I do. I have me and my parents always get Chinese food on Christmas because they don't cook. And it's the only thing that's open.
Yeah, that's for Jewish family, Chinese food in a movie. Like,
yeah,
that's like the cliche that like goes strong, you know.
Oh, I thought it was our thing.
I mean, do you not notice in the Chinese food, the Chinese restaurants on Christmas, every Jew in the whole town is there? No, that was just our.
No, I was in Oklahoma, so there wasn't very many Jewish.
There weren't
people.
A lot of Jews. Yeah. Do you like snow?
Sure. I like the way it looks. You know.
Ever been to Alaska or Hawaii?
I've been to Hawaii in elementary school. I would love to go back there, and I would love to go to Alaska because I really want to see the Northern Lights.
Yeah, it seems like a good thing to do.
Yeah, I think you can see them in Alaska, right?
Yeah.
I think that pretty much does it. Important question. How was your New Year's? What did you do on New Year's Eve?
Oh, so I have a tradition of getting too drunk the night before New Year's that I do nothing on actual New Year's. So I did go to a party, but I was sober, and it was awful. It was awful. And then, I went home by myself and probably watched Ozark. Yeah. Jason
Bateman.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
So good.
I think that more or less concludes all the questions. There's roughly 100 more, but they're all quite equally
all stupid.
Dumb. But at least we got to dive into your funeral playlist, which I would say made it all worth it.
Yes. I need to update it,
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, that or your will,
Yeah, I don't know if I want to play my music because then, like, if there's like an impersonator that comes and sings.
Oh, weird.
My songs.
Or an A&R set for discovery.
Yeah.
Because the A&R is coming to your funeral clearly to find new music.
Yeah. I'd actually want Lorde to come sing all my songs, or Julia Michaels.
That'd be really cool. Yeah. Or a duet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which, speaking of, like, who are you, like, listening to now? Like, what's like exciting you?
Gosh. Well, I am listening to. Well, I've just been listening to the new Billie Eilish album that came out yesterday.
It's so good.
It's very good. And I've been listening to a lot of like UK production, like Sampha. I mean, I know that album came out a while ago, but I love his record. And I don't know. I've also been listening to a lot of James Bond theme songs because I'm still trying to manifest in the universe that I have a song in a James Bond movie. If they don't stop making them, I will freak out. But
my favorite James Bond song. Wait. What's your favorite James Bond song?
I mean, mine is Skyfall by Adele.
Okay,
interesting.
Yeah, but I mean, I haven't listened to all the old ones until recently.
Mine is you know my name by Chris Cornell.
Chris Cornell.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah. I don't know if this is like it's not necessarily good, but I had a childhood obsession with the Madonna James Bond song.
Die Another Day, and then one of the Pierce Brosnan movies. That was like when I was like 4 years old or so. I was like, of all the old James Bond songs, that was a very good one. Like that was.
I mean, it's something.
Yeah, there's something about like spy. Like imagery that I want to play with somehow, like who's a pop artist that has a spy vibe, like that could be my thing.
Yeah, it's a hard thing to encapsulate too, I think, in music.
Yeah, well,
you heard it here first, folks. The whole next record is spy related.
Yeah, there's just gadgets. I'm selling like all these. Like,
could be called Totally Spies.
That'd be amazing.
I honestly, as a kid, I was obsessed with spies. Like I would play Spy Fox when
Spy Kids.
I went
to the Spy Museum in Washington.
I want to go.
Totally Spies. The show Totally Spies.
I haven't seen that.
It was about 3 teenagers who were spies. Kim Possible, who was sort of a spy.
Yeah. No, Kim Possible is a fashion icon.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, of
Cargo
course.
pants are so in right now.
Yeah. No, and so that's the thing. It's like I want to be a spy. Like when we would have family gatherings, me and my cousin would like try to like spy on conversations. Yeah, I was a big Bond.
Well, I'm
fan,
trying
yeah.
to plan a music video right now where I'm an assassin.
Ooh.
Yes. And so I've been shopping for clothes, for outfits to wear, because I know I have to wear like a long kind of trench coat jacket. And then underneath, I want to have all this tactical gear and just like
Hey.
knives hidden in
Who are you assassinating?
myself.
What?
What a twist.
Yeah.
Is that the plot twist in the?
The plot is yes. So it's like, I'm following myself around. Like there's the party version of me where I wake up like drunk and hungover and just like I'm a slobby person and I'm like, brushing my teeth kind of and like going to a bar. And then there's like badass assassin version of me that's following me to the bar. And then somehow there's an altercation and I have to like drag my own body because I'm killing my former self.
That's awesome. That's
great.
But yeah, no, spies.
Spies.
Chris Cornell's is my favorite one. For
Spy
sure.
culture.
I think artists should double as spies. Like, could you imagine if we had like a?
A pop star that's a spy
Yeah.
for the government.
It's like a Zoolander.
Yeah.
It's like how the models turned into assassins or whatever.
Yes.
What's new in the world of Mothica? What's coming next?
Yeah, I'm finishing up a bunch of songs and so I have 3 EPs out and I have about 12 to 15 songs right now I'm finishing.
Wow.
Yeah, and instead of doing 2 more EPs, I've decided it's going to be my debut album.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. But I'm trying to figure out a way to do it where it's not just like dropping 12 songs at once. Like it might end up being everything's the singles and then there's bonus songs and stuff like that.
One song on each streaming platform. So listen to the whole
Yes.
record. You need to subscribe to all of them.
Yeah, well, if you know that band Oh Wonder, they like released
Yeah.
an album, a song a month, which I thought was really cool. And so something like that, but it is my first album and
Do you have a name for it?
I do.
Do you want to drop it?
No, not yet.
All right, fair. Well, that's all. Can you? What is one of the songs that you're most excited about? Like, if we were to listen back to this interview after it came out, we'd be like, oh, that was the one. That makes sense.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this song called "Oh God."
What's that about?
It's about the morning after a crazy night, and it's like, "Oh God, what did I do last night?
Yeah.
What did I say?" Yeah, that's pretty much the lyrics.
The music video is just scenes from The Hangover.
Mike Tyson's there.
Yeah, that one might be the assassin video. We'll see.
Oh, that's cool.
Because it's like, oh God, what have I done?
That's just really cool music video. I'm like visualizing it and all.
Yeah.
That.
I know. Well, it's like tricky visualizing it too much because then I'm like, I don't know if I have the budget to pull off. Like, I want it to be like, slow motion jumping through a window and
Yeah.
like throwing knives, but I don't
Yeah,
think.
it's like a Tarantino movie.
Yes. I mean,
should get
that would
Tarantino to
be
do
amazing
it.
if I like did stunts. Oh, but I don't think we're going to get there.
Find a stunt double. Ellen could probably be. Yeah.
So I think I haven't asked her yet, but I think I might have to use her as my stunt double because we have the same hair.
Does she do stunts? She can
No.
learn. She can learn.
She's also a lot shorter than me, but
Well, that's awesome. I heard it at the house. And
yeah.
I'm very excited for it. I'm excited
Yeah.
for everything you're up to. So no,
Yeah.
thank you for coming on Talking Lion. You're one of our
Yes.
first. This is the first couple of episodes that we're
Yeah,
recording,
no,
so-
I'm super excited that you guys did this because I know you were talking about it, and I know you talk about doing a lot of things, and it's awesome that you actually made a podcast.
Yeah, I have like a whole list of ideas.
Yeah,
of things.
you're like, I have this pilot, and this game show, and this restaurant.
This is something that we've wanted to do for a while. Very specifically wanted to do it with friends. So
Yeah.
waking up to a text from you or like, let's do the show. I'm like, oh, you're
Yay.
the best. So
Yeah.
Anybody want to shout out before we wrap?
I don't know. I don't have anything to shout out. Just stay tuned
Stay tuned
for the tunes.
for the song, for the record that is unnamed. And shout out to young James and Ellen and Nathan and all the people.
Yeah, shout out. And please book me to play more shows.
Yeah, you're gonna be an LA native soon, so
yeah.
We'll have you as neighbors. So.
Yeah.
Now, thanks for coming on, Mackenzie. We'll talk to you soon.
Ta-ta for now.
We would like to thank Jägermeister and Isotope for their early support of Talking Lion.